Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Fiyo Tamigen, mayong hapon, magandang hapon, good afternoon. My courtesies to my partner, Chair Muhagerik Bal, to Reverend Father Karel San Juan, President of Ateneo de Davao University, to Dato Mussolini Sinsuat Lidasan, Director of the Al-Kalam Institute for Islamic Identities and Dialogue in Southeast Asia, to Mark Paul Samante, Chairperson of the University Community Engagement and Advocacy Council, and to Engineer Muhajirin Ali, Director General of the Bangsamoro Planning and Development Authority. And my special thanks to my mentor in peace work, Ma'am Inday Santiago. I likewise extend my courtesies to our partners from government, the indigenous peoples, international organizations, civil society, the academe, and the media present here and online. I will deliver a 7-minute introduction before I will call on Director Leila Halud to brief us on the details of the CAB implementation. Allow me to begin by greeting our Muslim brothers and sisters, Ramadan Mubarak. When I assumed this role, I recognized that implementation would be far more complex than negotiation. Peace agreements are not self-executing. They demand sustained political will, institutional discipline, and moral clarity. Over the years, many partners have convened dialogues like this to ask a simple yet difficult question, one that requires both humility and honesty. Where are we now in the Bangsamoro peace process? First, we acknowledge the foundations laid by all peace workers and advocates who contributed to the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro, or the so-called CAB. What we are implementing today stands on years of negotiation, sacrifice, and political courage. Peace agreements are often celebrated as historic achievements. Photo ops are done, hands are shaken, and documents are signed. But the truth is this: peace does not live on paper, it lives in trust. The life of a peace agreement is anchored on trust between the parties involved. Without trust, even the most carefully negotiated document becomes fragile. With trust, even a simple framework can transform a divided society. Trust is not declared, it is demonstrated. It is formed through sincerity, and sincerity is revealed through actions, even during difficult moments. When former adversaries honor ceasefires, implement provisions, grant amnesty, or share political power as promised, they send a clear message: we are committed. Each fulfilled promise strengthens confidence. Each broken one weakens it. The real measure of commitment comes when tensions rise, when leaders must choose restraint over counteraction, dialogue over escalation, and compromise over pride. Peace agreements are living commitments. They require patience, transparency, and accountability. They demand that leaders think beyond short-term political advantage and prioritize long-term stability. Most importantly, they require courage, the courage to trust and to be trustworthy. Let me emphasize, peace agreements require courage, the courage to trust and to be trustworthy. That is why we constantly remind all mechanisms on the government side to uphold the highest standards of truthfulness and accountability. This is how we preserve the honor of the agreement and sustain the deep trust and mutual confidence we share with our partners in the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Let us remember, words may begin peace, but actions sustain it. Trust is not built overnight. It is earned step by step, decision by decision. As we mark the 12th year of the CAB, we find ourselves in a critical phase of its implementation. We acknowledge the gaps. There are delays, difficult transitions, and emerging pressures, some structural, some political, but we must also recognize our gains. While implementation mechanisms are moving, there are real and legitimate concerns which you and I are fully aware. We must be candid. Peace processes are most vulnerable not during negotiations, but during transitions. Expectations are high, political timelines are tight, resources are limited, and narratives can quickly shift from hope to doubt. The GPH panel sees beyond compliance and looks at credibility. Implementation is not just about completing milestones. It is about ensuring that CAB implementation remains believable to the people it is meant to serve. We must protect the integrity of the agreement. We always return to what has been mutually agreed upon. The CAB remains our anchor, legally, politically, and morally. Jointness with the MILF must be sustained, even amid challenges. The strength of the peace process lies in partnership. Dialogue must remain constant, principled, and forward-looking. We must keep the national constituency invested in the Bangsamoro peace process. The success of the Bangsamoro is not just a regional matter, it is a national peace legacy. As we reflect this week, marked by both Ramadan and the Lenten season, we are reminded that peace is ultimately a moral undertaking. It calls for patience, sincerity, and the courage to remain faithful to commitments, even when the path becomes difficult. May this shared season of reflection guide us all to act with wisdom, restraint, and unity of purpose. As I close, let me thank the Ateneo de Davao for hand-holding the GPH MILF peace process. Maraming salamat, sukran.